Good evening, everyone. I am Tom Shillue in for Greg on this very special edition of Gutfeld. Let's kick this thing off, shall we? There are signs everywhere that summer is winding down. For instance, Times Square has changed its scent to pumpkin spice urine. Rashida Tlaib is starting to grow her winter coat. Greg Gutfeld is stockpiling kill me jokes for the winter. And Nancy Pelosi, instead of Coppertone, is applying WD-40 to her face. Okay, according to newly released documents, Eric Swalwell confessed to having sex with Chinese spy Fang Fang. He told her he wanted to try something new and different, consensual sex. On one occasion, he says he had sex with her after he took Ambien. He says he barely remembers it, but he knows he was hungry for more 30 minutes later. Fang Fang said sex with Swalwell was nothing to write home about, even though as a spy, that was her job. Got to write home. After John Ossoff criticized President Trump's ballroom, President Trump called him Pee Wee Herman. Then Ossoff replied, "I know you are, but what am I?" Scientists are warning influencers not to take selfies with sharks because the sharks may bite and kill them. But some folks are seeing an upside to this activity: more dead influencers. Mel Gibson just gave a major update on Lethal Weapon 5. In this latest installment, Riggs and Murtaugh become spokesmen for balance of nature. There we go. Go on. Well, we got to sell product, right? Okay, on to the monologue. So as a gang of socialists and oddballs enter the Democrats' big tent, the party has a decision to make: join them or fight them. And Hunter Biden just made his choice. Here's what he thinks of the Dems' latest star, Abdul El-Sayed.
I think that if we're crazy, if we all don't just get behind Dr. Abdul El-Sayed, 100%, we have a Michigan-born Rhodes Scholar who is this incredible athlete on top of that, who is also a board-certified doctor, who's also an epidemiologist, who also talks to people the way that they talk to each other.
Okay, we're listing his record. Let me try. Yeah, he's a doctor without a current medical license, and he does talk to people, but it's usually about his empathy for Hamas. Any other stellar candidates, Hunter?
The same way that I think that James Tallarico is an incredible candidate. I think that we have this incredible cast of leaders that are out there, that are young, that have an enormous amount of energy.
James Tallarico, the guy who told us he's a Christian who hates Christianity and believes God is non-binary. That guy makes us wonder if Dems should have gone with a more stable option, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, who's next? Hassan Piker?
We just all need to get behind them rather than sitting around talking about, whether, Hassan Piker should, be a part of the party. And, I look at somebody like Hassan and I realize that, he's grown up on these platforms and he's created an incredible constituency.
Okay, he wants us to embrace the dude who justified 9/11 and October 7th. But Hunter says, don't worry, Piker has lots of followers and likes. Just get with the program, guys. That's his argument. Don't look at the details of Piker's past. Just sell his vibes. It's slowly becoming the Democrats' new strategy. It reminds me.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.